Hello and a warm welcome to Knit in the City. I'm Rebecca, the city is Malmö, and as you can see I'm in a different location, one where you can actually wear your knitted pieces, at least if they're made from summer fibers. This is my ranunculus by Midori Hirose that I have showed you before, and everybody knows the ranunculus anyway, so I'm not gonna go into any detail about this one. Today I am back with a monthly episode where I go through what I have been doing for the past month. I talk a little bit about what I have finished, what I have been working on, if I have been sticking to my plans or not, and I will also tell you a little bit about what I have planned for the upcoming month. So I want to start with finished objects, and I have the blouse number 1 from my favorite things knitwear, and I talked about this in the last monthly roundup. So I'll keep it short. I have to say I really love this piece. I knit this from Drops Belle in the color cherry, and I mean look how pretty this is. Oh, you can't see. The thing with this is that it fits so nicely. It didn't the first. I mean, I've knit this twice. Not the whole thing, of course. I have knit the torso twice because I picked the extra large, which was supposed to fit me. It didn't. It was huge. So now this is a size medium, and that is not what I am supposed to be wearing. But this is just what happens with me and this summer fibers. So, and I'm talking at length about this in the previous episode. That is all about summer fibers. I don't know, maybe I should put it on. Now I'm starting to feel really warm, so maybe I was wrong about being able to wear my knitwear in this place. But I mean, I really like the neckline. Now I have another sweater underneath, so you can't really see. But this actually covers my bra straps, just. This is what it looks, and I really love the sleeves. I did go in and lengthen them because I had more yarn, and they just ended here. And with this kind of a wide sleeve, I just didn't want it to be short because I don't like the look of that. If you have a short sleeve, it should be tight, I think. But yeah, so that's the blouse number 1 that I'm really happy about. I can feel it growing, so I think I need to chuck it in the washing machine to just shrink it up a little bit. The second thing that I have finished is actually something that was on my plans for this month. It's still July, so that's why I'm saying this month. So I had 2 UFOs that I was supposed to be working on, and one of them was not this one, because this is a whip. No, but I had 3 whips that I wanted to work on. And the first one is Sarah by Sew in Öland. And this is a tank top that you button at the front. And I have finally finished this. It's not completely finished because I have to buy buttons and attach, and this is how I've marked the buttonholes, well, some of them, so that they would, not buttonholes, buttons. The buttonholes are on this side. Wow, this is messy. The buttonholes are on this side, and then when I knit across, because this is knit in one piece, so you don't pick up for the button bands. It's all in one. So when I came to this side, after a while I was smart enough to mark the row where the buttonholes are so that the buttons would match exactly. Because I do have trouble with this after the fact. So yeah, this is knit from the bottom up. This is just a 1-1 rib. And then you knit 1 row in rib and 1 row in stockinette. And that gives this really nice textured pattern. This is a V-neck, and it also has a V-neck in the back. And if you look at the pattern pictures, the model is wearing it both with the buttons on the front and on the back. Since this doesn't have any buttons yet, I have not yet worn it, so I don't know what the experience is going to be. This is knit from a cotton yarn that is no longer available. It's like a cheap cotton yarn, just like your average DK weight, I would say that this is. It is a little bit too short, and that is just because I'm lazy. I mean, I'm sorry about the light here. It is a bit dim, but I was sitting by the window before, and then the light just flooded my face. You couldn't even see my face. So hopefully this is better. Yeah, this is a little bit too short because I'm lazy, and like I was knitting. I mean, if you've been following me, you know that I've been knitting on this body back and forth for ages. So I just got really sick of that, and probably started the front and back pieces a little bit too soon. But I mean, I usually wear high-waisted things on my bottom half, so it should be fine. I mean, this was an okay knit, pretty boring going back and forth here, but it does help that it's not, I mean, you don't have a full row of purl stitches, because the purl row is a rib actually. So yeah, that was that. Okay, so if I go back to my plans, the UFOs that I had decided to work on was the confetti cake socks, which I also wanted to have finished this month, and I have not. And as usual, if I'm not mentioning a name of a pattern or a designer, you will see it on the screen somewhere. So these are the confetti cake socks, and I have showed these to you a few times. The main yarn is stranded Dyeworks. What is her sock yarn? Merino nylon is the sock yarn called. I have problems with pronunciation today. It's like my tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. Yes, that is this lovely mint green. And then the other yarns, the purple one here is Lorna's Lace's shepherd sock. This more reddish purple is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply sock, I think it's called. This dark green one is also stranded Dyeworks. It came as a sock set. The blue one is Järbo Junior Raggi, and so is the yellow one. And then this, the one that I used for the toe, is a Sandnes alpaca sock yarn that it's probably discontinued because I can't find it anywhere, so I don't even know what it's called exactly. What I have done is that I have nearly finished the foot. I have, let's see, it's a green. I have these two stripes left before I get to start with the toe. I have been knitting on this. I'm not sure you can tell. I find it extremely boring. And unfortunately, I have to carry this one over into August, but there is just so little left. I mean, this is what I have left to knit, so it's ridiculous if I couldn't finish it next month. Yeah. The other UFO that I wanted to work on, well, I didn't want to work on it, but I had decided to work on it, is the Vervain sock by Sachiko Virgin. I don't have them here, but I can insert a picture. I'm knitting these in Emily Knits Dreamy Silk, which is a merino silk blend, and it feels very soft, shiny and luxurious to your hands. I have not knit on this at all during the month, so this, I mean, nothing has happened, so I don't have to say anything more about that. The whips I was supposed to work on was Sarah that I showed you and that I've finished, except for the buttons. The other whip that I wanted to work on was the Cumulus T by Petite Knit. And this is a whole thing. So now the thing is, where is she? Here. Uh, this is my other plant fiber disaster. This one is knit in Hjertegarn Green cotton linen, which is an 85% cotton, 15% linen yarn. It's fingering weight. It's pretty nice to knit with. I don't experience any difficulties with the yarn per se. Let's see if I can find the ball here somewhere so I don't... Okay, that fell on the floor. Yeah, so what happened here is, I mean, you have heard some of this. I started making an extra large because that's what my measurements told me to do. That came out enormous. I had the experience of the blouse #1 that when I went down to a medium, it worked out fine. So that's what I did. I went back to the raglan increases here and worked back until I had the amount that you were supposed to have for the medium size. And then I knit, and then when I was about here, I tried it on again, because for some reason, when I'm watching or when I'm knitting on these plant fiber projects, during the knitting process, I cannot see whether it's too small or too big, or, well, it's always too big, but I can't really see that the way I can with a wool garment. So when I was here, I tried it on. It's still huge. So then I was thinking, if I make decreases under the bust, so then I ripped back, so I was like, okay, I have to stand up a little, like when I was like here, like a little under mid bust, I started making decreases. And then I was like, I'm gonna make decreases until I have the amount for the extra small size. So I made 2 decreases under each arm on both sides. I don't know if you can see it. Well, maybe not. So 4 decreases on each round, and then I knit, I think I had 4 rounds in between. And then, like down here, I am down to the number of stitches that the extra small size was supposed to have. Then I tried it on again, and it is still too big. So when I knit this in the smallest size that is in the pattern, it is still too big to fit me. So what I decided to do is I am going to frog this. And I didn't want to frog it until I had showed you. I mean, yeah. So now I'm going to frog it. And instead, I found some skeins of Sandnes Mandarin in my stash. So I started the Cumulus again. And I think that this is one of the recommended yarns in the pattern. And since this yarn is a little bit thinner than the Hjertegarn that I was using for the white one, that has 180 meters per 50 grams, and the tynn has a 220 meters. So I'm thinking that, I don't know if my thought process is correct, but I did start a size medium in this yarn, and I have measured it against this one, and I don't know if this is possible to show you here. I'll do my best. So as you can see, soon, here are my raglan increase rounds, and in this one they are here. So as you can see, in the same size, on the same needles, this is still quite a bit smaller than this. So I'm hoping that this is going to work out. After I've joined in the round, I'm going to try it on again. And if it's too big, I'll just rip out and go down to the size small. The thing that happened with the white one is that it fit pretty nicely over the bust. I mean, it was fine over the bust, but from there it just hung from the boobs like a tent. So I don't know if even with this thinner yarn, I may have to make decreases after the bust for it not to be really wide from the bust down. But I mean, when we get there, I will figure that out. So, and oh, this is such a nice drapey yarn. And I also love knitting with it. I mean, I can't stop raving about this yarn. Sorry. Yeah, that was the Cumulus tea that has been causing me a few headaches. The thing is, I mean, when I knit with plant fibers, I have come to expect trouble. So I don't get as annoyed as I do when I make mistakes in a wool yarn. Because I know that these fibers are unruly and I know I'm not the master of them. So yeah, I do rip out and redo it and just bite my tongue. And that was the Cumulus tea. The other, this I have also been talking about quite a bit. But the other whip that I wanted to work on was the Kylie pullover from Irene Lynn. And here she is. I really love this lace and cable pattern. And last time, this is also drops Belle, like the Blouse No.1. And last time I talked to you, I was having trouble because the armholes were too small. They obviously are not anymore, because what I did was I made a few extra repeats on the back and on both of the fronts before I put the whole thing together. Contrary to my plant fiber knitting experiences, this does not seem to come out really big. I am knitting the smallest size, but it's very oversized. So the bust measurements for the finished piece in the smallest size is 122 centimeters, and I have a 106 centimeter bust. So I think that should be quite enough. It does, what I think, the armholes are proper big now. If this was a more tight fitting garment, these armholes would be too big. But this is supposed to be a little bit bigger and flowy and all of these things. So I think the armholes are fine. I want the sleeves to be quite wide. I am a little bit worried that the body now is going to be tight on me, and I don't want that, because I don't want like a super oversized garment, but I also don't want this to cling to my body. I don't know, because this is a plant fiber yarn, and also it's on a cable that is a lot smaller than the garment itself. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to try this on. But I mean, I'm happy so far. I will try it on and see how I feel about it after that has been done. The other thing is I only have 2 balls left of this yarn, which is obviously not going to be enough for finishing the body and knitting the sleeves. I think the 2 balls that I have is just enough to finish the body. So then I'm going to need, I mean, the thing is, it said that this was going to take 8 balls of yarn. And then I will also add it to the length, which takes more yarn, obviously. And I think I only had 6 balls to begin with. But I think since this is like a commercially made yarn or dyed yarn, hopefully, even if I get a different dye lot, it should match enough so that I won't be bothered by it. And also I was thinking to make the sleeves with the new balls so that I don't get a stripe on the body. So I think that should be fine. But knitting has been halted on this one because I don't have all the yarn that I need to finish it. But it looks pretty nice right now. Yeah, that was all the whips that I had intended to work on. The new things I wanted to cast on this month was the outline tee that I have also knit several times. Not the full garment, of course, but I started making it in Sandnes Mandarin naturell, which is a heavier yarn than the pattern is recommending, which meant that it came out bigger than I wanted it to. And also I only had 4 balls of yarn, and after I had finished 2 of them, I realized that there is no way that the other 2 balls were going to be enough to finish the full t-shirt. And I think the color might also be, because Sandnes does this sometimes, they discontinue certain colors and then put new ones into the rotation. So if you, some colors you can't get again. What I did was I bought a thinner cotton yarn, which is this one. This is 100% cotton, just like the Mandarin naturell. This is the Colorful Fraya from Selfmade. This is a fingering weight yarn. I think it has 180 meters on this 50-gram ball. I started making the outline tee from this yarn, but somehow I twisted the stitches. Yeah. And so then I was just fed up and ripped it out, and I didn't touch it for a long time until last night. I was like, I have to start this. I've been talking about it for so long, and I got a great tip from a viewer that you knit the first few rounds as rows instead. So you knit back and forth for a while. I think I did only 2 rows back and forth, and then you join in the round, because then you can see if you twist it, which I didn't. So that was great, thank you very much. And then you just sew up this little jog that happens here. So this is as you can see, a bottom-up garment with a twisted rib, and then you make there are a few stitches here that you're going to drop once you're almost finished with the garment, and that is what makes the lines down the body. I think the first time I knit the second size. This time I am knitting the first size, and the only reason for that is that I'm super lazy. I pulled out some yarn I cast on, and I realized that with the yarn that I had, it wouldn't be possible to cast on the number of stitches for the second size. So then I was just like, I'll do the smallest size. It's still big enough. And also every garment I make from a cotton yarn is going to turn out bigger than the measurements in the pattern anyway. So, I mean, and looking at it, I think it's going to be fine. I will knit a little bit further and then I'll try it on. And if it's disastrously small, I'll start over on the outline tee for the 4th time. I hope that this is going to be a very wearable garment, considering how much knitting time I have spent on this project. Yeah. Yeah, that was the other one that I wanted to cast on was the square neck camisole by Helene Beba. I have not done this. First I didn't have the pattern. Now I've actually bought the pattern, but I wanted to start the outline tee first. So I'm going to move this project over to next month, and I will cast it on in August. I have the yarn, I have the pattern, so there's no reason. Oh yeah, I know, there is a reason why I couldn't start, because the needles are in the Cumulus tee, and these are the only 3mm needles that I currently own. Or no, that's not actually true, because I have a few of the sets of circular, or like not circular needles, but sets of interchangeable needles. And both of those, the ones that I have, they have 3mm needles in them. Unfortunately, I don't know where they have gone. So at the moment, this is the only 3mm needle that I have, and this is what the pattern calls for. So, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna finish this whole thing before I get to the square neck camisole, because then August will already be gone. And instead I think I'm gonna go on a search for the missing 3mm needles. But since I rather knit than excavate my knitting supplies, I haven't done that yet. I think I actually forgot to tell you about a finished object, and that is the market bag. It's called the market bag by Davina Choi, and this is a free pattern. I have knit this from Ullcentrum Öland Linea, which is 100% linen yarn. That is really lovely, actually. It is a bit hard on your hands, but this is a quick and easy knit, so I didn't have to spend a lot of time making this. And this is a really sturdy and durable bag. I have used it to buy groceries and carry them home from the store. And the construction is quite fun. You start with a garter stitch here, and then you knit the whole, it's just back and forth in this lace pattern or eyelet pattern, all the way up to the other side here, and you end with a garter stitch tab here. And after all of this is done, you pick up stitches along the sides, and then you cast on for the handle, pick up stitches here, and cast on for the second handle, and then you knit all of this in garter stitch. And the first time I did this, I just picked up at random, which meant I picked up too many stitches here, and that resulted in the bag being too open. So there was like no depth to the bag at all. It was just like an oblong. So I had to pick them out and then just read the pattern thoroughly, because it told you how many stitches to pick up for each section. And I think the description was a bit difficult to understand, but there was a video. So after I had watched the video, it became completely clear and I could pick up the correct number of stitches. And I feel really happy with this little summer bag. Yes, so this was something I cast on that was not in my plans, which I am accustomed to do. Back to the plans. The things that I wanted to have finished was the confetti cake socks, and I didn't. I was very close, but I didn't finish them. And the Sarah top, which I kind of have finished. The knitting is finished. Other things that I've been working on during the month that was not in the plans is the TipTop tank by Emily Baldwin, I think. And this has been in my queue since last summer. And now the yarn is stuck under here. Let's see, yes. So this is also a free pattern. That was in my queue since last summer. I don't know why I didn't, I guess there were a lot of other exciting things that I wanted to do. This is a bottom-up construction, and it's very simple. You start by knitting this 1/1 rib, 2 of them, and then you put everything together and start knitting in the round. And it has these decorative pearl stitches on the sides, like under your arms. What was I going to say more about that? Yeah, and then you start, so the whole body is knit in the round except for the hem. And then when you get to however long you want your tank top to be, you knit all of these pieces separately. So this turns into a V-neck tank top, so that with a V both in the front and in the back. So you just divide half the stitches, you make decreases to form this little V shape, and then you stop making decreases on the armhole and make a few more for the V-neck, and then you just knit straight until they are half as long as you want them to be, or whatever the pattern says. And then the same for the back. So I have finished 2 of these. I'm almost done with a third, and then a fourth one is going to finish off the piece. And I am knitting this from Viking Garn bamboo. And this is a, let me see, I think it's a 50 bamboo, 50 cotton. Yes, it is. 50% bamboo and 50% cotton. This is a very shiny yarn. It's a very slippery yarn. I do like to knit with metal needles, but for this project I don't really recommend that because yeah, it is super slippery. It is quite splitty as well. Beside that, it is quite nice to knit with because it's super soft. And as I talked about in the previous episode, bamboo is quite a heavy fiber, and you can really feel that because this is a DK weight. And you can really feel that when you hold it up. It is really heavy. So it's a good thing that this is a small garment. I don't know what it's going to feel like to wear when it's hot outside, but hopefully I will find out. So yeah, I'm really close to finishing this. And it's been a really quick and enjoyable knit. But yeah, wooden needles is hot tip of the day. Is there anything? Yeah, there is another thing I have been working on that I wasn't planning on working on, but this is actually a really good thing. This is my compass from Tin Can Knits, from their beautiful book Strange Brew. And I am knitting this for my daughter in Woolevo baby merino. Yeah, there are like some big holes under their arms, but I'm gonna sew them together, so it doesn't really matter. So last time I showed this to you, and you can see that the contrast is not really there, but she was fine with that. Last time I talked to you, I had finished the body, but I hadn't started the arms. And now I have finished the first arm, and then I ran out of yarn. Or no, I didn't run out of yarn actually, but I hadn't brought all the yarn with me to where I was, so I had to wait. So this is how far I got when I ran out of yarn. But now I have retrieved 2 balls, which should be enough to finish this sleeve. And I'm not gonna push myself with this one. Whenever I feel like it, I'm gonna knit on it because she's not gonna be wearing this until autumn anyway. Now I'm actually really sweating. I don't know if it's holding all this yarn. But yeah, so this is a round yoke sweater, as you can probably see, and it is knit from the top down, which many of these summer tank tops camisoles are not actually. I feel like a lot of the summer garments are knit bottom up compared to garments for the cooler months. What else? I think that's it. That is all of the projects that I have been working on this month. I did think in my mind that, oh no, wait, yes. I don't know if I showed you, but the retro button dress, I actually put buttons on it. Maybe I did show you a lot. Oh, sorry, this blows out so much. If I hide my face, I don't know. I put buttons on it, yeah, and I might have showed you that. But I have been wearing this quite a bit, and of course I also had to wash it, which is very easy. You just put it in the washing machine. The thing that happened then, because when I was finished, the armholes were a bit tight. I mean, not so tight that it was uncomfortable to wear, so I left it. But after washing this, and this is a drop spell, so it's mostly cotton, cotton does shrink, which meant that these armholes also shrank. So now it just hugs into the flesh of my arms. So what I have decided to do is, because this is I Kitchener stitched these together. That doesn't look very pretty, but I get it just pulled together in the washing machine. But I decided to unravel this, or just open the seam and knit the I lost that word now. Knit the straps a little bit longer. Because apart from that, I really like this dress. So I will knit the straps longer. And I do have an extra ball of Drops Belle in this color. So that can be easily done. And that is something that I want to do during next month. And that takes us into the plans for August, which are the 9 p.m. tank that I've completely forgotten about because it's no fun to knit on. And here it is. And I have showed this to you too many times. So if you are a recurring viewer, I apologize. And this is also really hard to show. I finished the first. I have not touched this month. What I'm about to do is to make the second strap here. And this is knit in Yarnwick Blenda Gotland, which is a 50% Gotland wool and a 50% merino. This is really soft. I plan to use it as an undergarment when autumn comes, and even for the winter. This pattern is a made to measure pattern, so it comes with a, what you call it, like a spreadsheet, and you just put in your numbers, like your gauge and your measurements, and then this spreadsheet counts and gives you the number of stitches to cast on, pick up, whatever. Which is really great because then you get a garment that fits you perfectly. All of these edges, straps, everything is double knitting, which looks really nice if you're careful and not if you're not. But it is super boring to knit, so that's why this has been lounging around for some time. And that is why this is currently a UFO. But yeah, I wanted to pick this up again in August because I want it to be finished when the cold sets in. The other UFO, I mean now I actually put this as a UFO, but it's not a UFO. It's the confetti cake socks that I showed you before. They're not a UFO, but they have been for a long time, and I would really like to finish them. And it is ridiculous that I only have a little more than a toe left, and I still haven't finished it. And there's only like 1 month left of summer, so I should definitely get on to that. The whips that I want to work on during August is the Cumulus tee, and as of now this is a green project and not a white one anymore. I also want to rip out the white one and use that yarn for something else. I am thinking to make an Umbria top from it, because I think that the meterage of this yarn matches the one that she used in the pattern perfectly. I'm gonna double check that, but yeah. I want to keep knitting on my Kylie pullover. At least I can finish the 2 balls that I already have. I also want to finish my TipTop tank, which I'm very close to doing. So that feels really good. The new things I want to cast on, I have put outline tee here because I just cast it on yesterday. So I'm gonna count this as a new cast on for August because it's kind of close. I also want to cast on the square neck camisole, and since I now have the pattern, there is nothing stopping me. So for like the 3rd month in a row, I'm actually going to cast on the square neck camisole. The things I want to have finished, is of course the stupid confetti cake socks. Well, they're not stupid. I'm being stupid for not finishing them. I also want to finish the Kylie pullover because I want to wear it before summer is over. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and just order those extra balls of yarn that I need. I also would really like to finish the 9 p.m. tank. I'm not so excited to knit on it, so I don't really know how that's gonna happen. But it's something I'm aspiring to. And that's actually all I have for today. And if you didn't see my last episode about plant fibers, that is a hot tip. If you, like me, struggle with these fibers. Actually, I call it summer fibers because I'm also talking about silk in there. That's all I had. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day, evening, night, wherever you are. See you in the next one. Bye bye!